actually willfully celebrating God's character and rejoicing in it. David gives many reasons to thank God through his writings, but it's God's love that is mentioned as the subject of our thanks more often than any other thing. His love endures forever. The following is a description of the recommended practices of one of the secular experts on gratitude that I came across in my research. I do 3 bows in the morning, she says. The first bow is to myself as a part of the universe. The second bow is to my family, my children, my friends, to acknowledge their presence in my life and to appreciate them. The third bowing is to the universal life force and what is. Doing this helps me let go of controlling and instead open to the flow of life. Okay, so we know we're supposed to show gratitude, but to who or what? To the universe? To the flow of life? To our vibrational frequencies? These things are classic cases of doing the right thing, but to the wrong subject. And in many cases, when we do the right thing to the wrong subject, it ends up worse for us than if we'd done nothing at all. Did you get that? We can do the right thing, but if it's to the wrong person or subject, it can backfire, and we can end up worse off than if we'd done nothing at all. Now, my wife Sarah grew up in Africa, and so did her siblings, obviously. Her older brother had a friend named Shep. And Shep happened to be in New York City with some of his friends during the time of an NHL All-Stars game. And they happened to be in a restaurant when they noticed quite a bit of commotion over in one of the corners of the restaurant at a couple tables over there. So Shep asked the waiter, "Hey, what's going on over there?" The waiter said, "Don't you recognize those guys? That's Mario Lemieux. That's Mark Messier." And he listed off a few more NHL greats. And so Shep, not wanting to miss the opportunity to meet someone famous, wanted to do something about this. So he asked his friends, "Hey guys, which one of those guys is the best hockey player?" And at that time, it was Mario Lemieux. And so he had his friends point out Mario Lemieux, and with great confidence and boldness, Shep walked up to Mario Lemieux and he said, "Mr. Lemieux, can I please have your autograph?" Well, the hockey legend kind of gave him a little bit of a strange smile and, said, "You know what? Sure, yeah, I'll sign your napkin." So Shep handed it to him, jotted something down, gave it back to him, while Shep was beaming as he walked back to his friends. And his friends were impressed by his confidence, this bold display of courage. And they said, "Shep, what did he write?" And so Shep looked down and began to read. And it said, "Best of luck, signed Mark Messier." And Shep's face just began to go red and then white. As the blood disappeared from his face, he realized that he had asked Mr. Messier for Mario Lemieux's signature. His friends never let him live down the embarrassment of that evening. But you see, Shep did the right thing, but it was to the wrong subject. And he ended off, in a worse scenario than if he'd just done nothing at all. Another example has happened recently, and Sarah, I hope you don't mind, but I'm going to use you as an example. We had Anaya's 4th birthday party, and there was a couple of other birthdays that we celebrated as well, and we invited all our friends over. It was just a big do. We tried not to focus so much on Anaya and her birthday. We said, please, no gifts, but inevitably some friends brought gifts. Well, in all of the confusion, Anaya did open the gifts, and we said our thank yous, but unfortunately, Sarah said thank you to one of our friends for something that she didn't give. And we think that friend is actually a little bit insulted at that. And I can see why. But you see, giving gratitude to our friend for what they gave was a great idea. But unfortunately, it was to the wrong person. It had ended up poorly. The third stop on our journey of Thanksgiving is the Gospels. That is the books of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. These books chronicle the life of Jesus while he was here with us on earth. Interestingly enough, all the references to giving thanks revolve around food. So, we got something right when we do the turkey and gravy thing. But it's the last mention that I'd like to draw your attention to. While they were eating, Jesus took bread. He gave thanks, and he broke it. He gave it to his disciples, saying, "Take and eat, this is my body." And then he took the cup, gave thanks, and offered it to them, saying, "Drink from it, all of you. This is my blood of the covenant, which is poured out for many for the forgiveness of sins." This particular verse is taken from the Gospel of Matthew, but it's also in Mark and Luke. When I was younger, I actually had a love-hate relationship with glasses. I thought glasses looked pretty darn cool, so I wanted to wear them. But you know what? I also took pride in my greater than 20/20 vision. So, it's a tough spot to be in, right? A few years ago, my friend and I were having a conversation about a sign off in the distance, and he was saying some things that I couldn't see. And I said, "Look, there's no way you can see that. I have great vision, and that's blurry to me, so you can't see that." He said, "Here, why don't you try on my glasses?" So, I put them on, and to my astonishment, I could actually see the sign clearly. It was a very sad day for me when I realized that my eyesight was nowhere as good as I thought it was. I wonder how many of us here this morning need glasses. Let me be more clear. We need to become more aware of our surroundings. Thanksgiving and praise are the lenses that help us do this. If we thank and praise God, then we begin to receive the most important sight that we could have. Spiritual sight. If we do not give thanks, then we become blind. Let's take a look at a video clip quickly. By way of introduction, Bruce is not very appreciative of his lot in life. Sadly, I think he's probably like many of us. But note what is happening to him, what is happening behind him as he's in his car complaining about his luck. Let's take a look.